Salutations all, and welcome back to another kitchen adventure. So, I've been thinking, it's been weighing heavy on my mind. I actually saw a study just the other day that you can actually look up. Talks about the amount of wasted food products that go on, at least here in the States. And I just started thinking about how in other places in the world today, when an animal sacrifices its life, every part of that animal is used to create a meal or to create something. Nothing is wasted, and I think we need to get back to that, right? We need to get back to utilizing every bit that we can. So that was part of the beginning of all of this. We were going to do different meals, healthy and otherwise. We were going to show you how to save money. We were going to show you how to flip meals into something else, and so on and so forth. So today we're going to take something that might be a little strange to some of you and turn it into something delicious. All right. So, what am I talking about? What are we doing today? That's what you're asking me, right? Well, before we go on, you know me, I'm a big history guy, and I actually have some ancient text here that kind of speaks to what we're going to be doing today. I got this on the dark web, and I'm going to just read you a little bit here from this world philosopher and traveler. Forgive me, my ancient tongues are a little rusty. Todo el mundo con la lengua afuera. Todo el mundo con la lengua afuera. No tenga pena. Dale, que tú puedes. What does that mean? Well, today, I'm going to show you what that tongue do. I'm going to show you what to do with this tongue. We're gonna make tacos out of this. That's all I was trying to say. We're gonna make tacos. Let's get into this adventure. All right. So let's talk about this protein, right? This is beef cow tongue. You can get it at most large chain grocery stores. Walmart carries it as well. And it can be a little creepy, right? It's got texture to it. No, I'm not going to do it. This one's a little bit banged up from whoever butchered it. They got a little carried away with the knife, and that's okay. So how do we work with this big old muscle, right? Really, 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 really easy. We're going to slow roll this bad boy. Now, you can do it in a crock pot. We're going to do it a little different. We're going to simmer this on a low heat, some nice seasoned up beef stock, and let it go slow. Now, when you first get it in the raw state, you don't have to do anything to it. You can rinse it. Some people rub it with a little bit of salt, okay? This tongue, this flesh here is covered in a skin that we're going to need to remove. But we're going to leave that on there. We're going to pull it out when it's done, and we'll be able to peel that skin, and we'll go over that. So for that, you might need a little bit of a paring knife, but for the most part, it should be pretty easy to peel. Now, we're going to, like I said, we're going to not boil. We're going to allow this to simmer, right? We don't want a rolling boil. We want a nice, even temperatured cooking. It'll probably take, for this one here, this size, probably about an hour, right? On a slow roll, about an hour. We're going to throw some seasonings into that water. We're going to throw some aromatics into that water. And then we're going to save the water because at the end, once we've got this beef tongue chopped down for our tacos, we're going to tighten that up with a slurry and use it as a nice little sauce to go with our tongue. Right. So what are we throwing into this beef stock? What are we throwing into this water? Let's find out. Pepper. Or you can call it chili negro. All right. That's what that is right there. It is, it can be anywhere from, not spicy to a little bit spicy, a mild. It's going to be really, really rich in that chili flavor. Bring a nice, smokiness to the dish as well. All right. And then these bad boys right here. All right. Anybody know? Can you tell me? All right. So these are ancho chilies. Ancho chilies. Now, the name that they're called when they're still green and fresh is poblano. So you chili relleno fans out there, that's these bad boys right here. All right. They've just been dried out, and that's what they look like. Did you think we were done? Absolutely not. All right, so we've got the beef over there on the stove going. Now we play the waiting game. While we're doing that, we're going to knock out some of the other accompaniments for this dish. So I've got a bag of tomatillos here that we're going to get peeled. And we've got some jalapenos, some avocado, some limes. We're going to do a quick pickling on some red onion back here. Chop up our cilantro. Crumble our queso fresco. Blend up this delicious salsa. I mean, it's a lot, baby. It's a busy day. It's a fun day. But let's get to it. So I'm going to peel the tomatillos first and foremost. I'm not a fan of them as far as touching. If you've never had to do this, they are very, very sticky. I'm just being lazy. I don't want to reach across the counter for my gloves. Once I get all these bad boys peeled, I'm going to rub them down with a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to do the same with my jalapenos and my garlic cloves there, a couple of garlic cloves for that. And I'm going to throw in my cast iron. I've got the oven running, but that's for another purpose. And we're going to just get some color on this. Then we're going to blend them down and make a deliciously smooth salsa verde. Alright, so my fingers are coated in that sticky icky from these tomatillos. We're going to slice these bad boys in half here and get them in our bowl. Now remember, with salsas and things like that, you can somewhat control the heat on that, right? So if you want to cut down on some of the heat, you can always take the pith out of the jalapenos that you're using. Tomatillos, to me, are not spicy. I know some people might say they've got a little bit of a bite. They're more of a sour, tangy, if you want to go that route. But they have so many beautiful uses, okay? All right, so we're going to do the same thing with our jalapenos. We're going to cut those bad boys in half. I am leaving the whole shedang-a-dang inside of there. All right, we're not soft around here. Boom, so there we go. We're going to drizzle these with a little bit of olive oil. Just get them coated real nice. Oh, we lost one. Don't eat that, Max. Don't eat that, Max. Oh, the dog got it. Somebody let me know if that's safe. Alright, once you are ready, we're going to take these bad boys and get them into our cast iron here. And you just want to be patient. You want to give it a little time, right? We're just looking to get some color on it and let those tomatillos soften up a little bit for the blending. So we're going to let those go and let those natural sugars burn. Get super sexy on the outsides there. Now, normally when I make salsas, I will throw in some onion, obviously. You know what I mean? That's a basic part of the salsa. But for this one, I'm not going to do that. And the reason being is because we're going to have some additional onion on the side. So I'm going to small dice this bad boy up right here. And we're going to mix it with some chopped cilantro. Hit it with a touch of lime juice and some salt. And that'll be it. So we're not going to put any onion into this particular salsa that we're making today. Garlic, you said? Yeah, of course. You know me. Garlic. 2 times. You notice I'm not stirring it, right? We're not disturbing it. We will in a moment, but for the time being, we're just going to let it ride. We're going to let it do what it does. Till we can get some color on this bad boy. Check my avocados while we're waiting. And always remember, with a dish like this, you know, you want to taste as you go. Taste as you go. But you may find you don't need to add too much of anything or a whole lot of everything. You'll never know till you get to the end. So we got to go through. All right, that avocado's looking good. Boom, boom, boom. Avocado's looking good, baby. And listen, you know, this video obviously is about showing some of you something a little out of your comfort zone. My oldest niece, the pretty lady, said, "Uncle, I think you should do something exotic." And I said, "Exotic, huh?" I was afraid maybe if we jumped off the boat or jumped out the window with some craziness, it'd scare a lot of you. I imagine right now you're a little afraid. Remember what I always say. We adults put much worse things in our mouth. Alright, so that smell is outstanding. When you've been cooking for a very long time, there are just certain things that you can tell without ever having to see something. Forgive me. You know, you can smell when something is almost done. You can smell sugar cooking. You can smell heat, which is crazy. I know that doesn't make sense, but I promise you, ask any chef you know. It's just something that we can do. We can tell time without seeing a clock. It's just the way that we live. So you can smell the caramelization happening with this. Look at that. The peppers there getting some color on them. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do. All right. So we're going to let that continue to go. Let's get the food processor out, and we're going to get ready to make this salsa. So we just stopped the heat on this bad boy. You can see we've got some delicious color on these veggies here. Get that without burning myself. Got a good char on that, right? Nice and tender. We're going to let them sit and chill for just a second or so before we throw them in here and get the rest of this done. Alright, we're ready to start blending. Get these bad boys in here. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this with a little bit of salt, a little pepper, some comino, a little cumin. Right, we're going to blend it down first before I start adding my avocado. So I really don't know how much we're going to want to add, right? You can always add, you cannot take away. So hit it with the cumin, a little pepper. Prepare for loud noises. Alright, let's give this a licking. See where we are. Baby. Look at that. Can you see it? Can you see it? Stupid focus. Alright, see where we're at. Remember also when it's warm. Ooh, that's got some kick, baby. When it's warm, the flavors will actually change as it cools, right? Think about leftover pizza. It's good when you get it, yeah, totally. For some reason, it's just that much better the next day, right? So be very, very careful, all right? And you'll want to go a little bit heavier with the salt when it's warm than you think you should, because again, as it cools, the tomatoes will kind of neutralize a lot of that. The acid in the tomatillos will neutralize a lot of that, especially like when we make regular salsa as well. Also, a little trick that I learned a long time ago from an outstanding sous chef is if you don't put your hands on it, you know, put your fingers all over your veggies and stuff like that, keep it out of there, your salsa will actually last longer. Something about those icky cooties. Alright, now we're going to go in. I'm going to start off with one whole avocado and blend it down. Last seed. Blend it down and see if it gets me where I want to go with the creaminess and that smoothness. Once again, loud noises. Oh, avocado doesn't want to blend down. Well, we'll fix you. One half didn't, but the other half did. Let's see where we're at. Chop that up a little bit. It's getting there. It's getting there. All right, I'm gonna go with one more avocado. I think that'll put me where I want to be. Then we're gonna move on to the rest. All right, so first thing we are going to do is knock out this yellow onion here. You could use a white onion as well. I don't often see those as regularly in my grocery store for whatever reason. But anywho, what we're going to do is take top and the bottom off, throw those out in the compost heap, cut that bad boy in half, take our skins off on our outer layer here. Now, anyone that has been to a taco truck or outstanding taco dive, you already know where we're going with this, right? Alright, I'll make a few little horizontals and a few verticals. I'm going to turn it and go again. I never really understood in culinary school why we really cared. I mean, I've never had anyone sit at a table and inspect every dice of their onion to make sure that they were all uniform. I'm sure there's some OCD spectral person out there that is like, oh no, send this back. This onion is larger than the others, and I cannot and will not eat it. Alright. Make sure I get all that dice down there. Alright. So we got a nice small dice on our onion. And you might also be asking yourself, like, man, there seems to be a lot of onion throughout this dish, right? We've got the leeks in the water with the beef, which is going swimmingly over here. Got a nice simmer rolling on that. We've got the onions here, and we're going to do a pickle on some red onion. But the reason that we're doing that is because we're having a little soiree, and we're going to be allowing our guests to build the taco however they desire. And beef tongue can be pretty fatty on the inside, you know. It can be a little bit rich, and so having a pickled onion allows for people to cut that a little bit, you know. Some people just like it. Some people like it. Some people don't like the texture of uncooked onions. I have a few of those people in my circle as well. So, you know, we try to be thoughtful for everyone's needs. Alright. I'll take our cilantro here. It's sort of been rinsed and all that good jazz. Roll that. Give that a nice good chop. Bop, 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 bop. We're going to save that other bit. We're just going to chop it by itself. So like I said, it's going to be a build your own taco situation. Our little street tacos we're going to be making. Alright. Going to take our lime. Take half of that bad boy. See what I'm doing over there. Squeeze that lime in there. Get all that juice. A lot of repeating flavors, or I guess I should say a lot of repeating characteristics of flavors, right? Salty, sour. We'll have savory here in a little bit when we are finished with the beef. And how will you know the beef is done? Best way to do it is if you've got a nice long serving fork or a regular fork or even a nice thin knife. You're going to stick that into the beef, into the thickest part. And if the beef slides off very easily or doesn't give you a lot of resistance when you are sticking it, then you know you're good to go, right? All right. Also, shout out to Miss Nelson for donating an entire stack of these outstanding 6-pans to me. I'm already running out of space in my house. I'm not a hoarder, okay? I just need all of this, and I don't have space for it, okay? Thank you so much for these. All right, so that's it. I mean, that's literally it for this one, right? Onion, cilantro, a little bit of lime, banga banga. We're gonna put that bad boy aside and get into the pickling. All right, for the pickled onions, we're going to use a red onion for this. You don't have to. I just choose to. You can use an onion of your choosing or no onion at all. Just be a pickle. All right. Take that skin first layer off there. We'll turn that bad boy this way. And remember, when you're using a knife, tuck those fingers, right? You want to keep them, tuck them, tuck them. All right. You can also cheat. They make that little whatever thing. I don't know what it's called. Finger saver thing. You put your hands in. You can find it on Amazon. They come in like silicone and metal. Or you could just learn to use your knife proper. You could also invest in a cut glove, but that's taking it a little far for the house. All right. We're just going to work these bad boys I want mine to be a little thin because I want this process to be a little quicker than an overnight or a day or two. When we pickle some things, it takes a little bit. Another trick to speeding up the pickling process is to, excuse me, is to heat your vinegar mixture up a little bit. It doesn't have to be boiling or anything like that. Just get it warm, all right? Just get it warm. All right, we're only gonna do a little bit to start us off with there. Boom. So we've got our red onion in there. Next step is we're gonna take a few peppercorns, just a couple, or you can just use a little ground pepper as well. Just another flavor component. We've got a little bit of time to wait, so I'm not rushing this. More in there. We're gonna do a pinch of sugar. That is just a pinch. With our pinch of sugar in there, we're gonna do a dash of salt. And just remember as well, for those of you that may not have seen, I always use kosher salt. It's easier for me to measure in my hands. So, just be careful if you're watching me and you're using an iodized or like table salt, a small salt, all right? Because you can very quickly oversalt something. But that's why we taste as we go, right? Taste as we go, and you don't have to worry about that. All right, last bit is I've got a red wine vinegar here. All right, and we're just gonna cover these onions. All right. Coming down in that liquid. Real good, real good. All right, now you want to get those covered really, really nice. We're going to wrap this up and stick it in the fridge and let it go for the duration of all the rest of this cooking that we're doing. I'm going to cut up some radish for this as well. Radish just adds a nice little crunch element to the taco. You could say a little flavor as well. Sometimes radish can have a little bit of a pepperiness to it. I'm not going to do anything special with these. I'm going to cut them in half and just make little half moons out of those as well. So what's next? So now that we've got our condiments squared away and taken care of, we're going to let the beef do what it does, right? It's the waiting game. You guys sit tight. We'll do the fast forward thing. I don't know, maybe. I don't know if I can do that. Once we get the beef done, we're going to get it out. We're going to peel it. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to chop it down. We're going to get it back into the cast iron with our sauce and make it all sexy. Get our tortillas cooked. Get some rice and beans on and some veggies. I mean, it's going to be a good day. I got some bread pudding to make. I'll send you a picture, let you know how that turns out as well. All right. We have reached that pinnacle time. We've let this bad boy cook for quite some time. Now we're going to take the licky parts off, cut it down, get it over here in this cast iron with some of those juices, thicken it up to make our sauce. Now, this bad boy is still getting hot. When you take it out of your broth, out of your liquid there, give it a little time to rest, okay? Remember the rule about meat, right? We let it rest, but also it's for your safety. All right? You see the steam coming off this bad boy here in the back. It is still quite hot, all right? But we want to get it chopped down. Some of our guests will start arriving here pretty soon. So I'll show you on the part where it was already banged up. Look, see how I just slide my finger in there? I know it looks really gross, like one of those ER moments, okay? But I wanted to show you that because really the skin should come off the tongue fairly easily. A lot of the times on the bottom, underneath there, it's a little harder. We've got a good sharp knife here, so I'm not really concerned with that. The first thing we're going to do is going to make a cut down the tongue. Bang, bang. Make a cut on the bottom as well, just to give us something to work with. And we're going to get our fingers in there and just start pulling that off. Very, very Should be very, very simple at this point. Alright, should be very, very simple. Oh, I thought I could get it off in one. Then I could make a shoe. No, I joke. That is still so very hot. These tender fingers of mine. I'll be my word. Alright, so we're going to pull all the skin off that. Like I said, see, it comes off really easily. If you got a dog, maybe you want to chop that up for old doggy dog or whatever. Whatever makes you happy inside. So like for me, I will cut the part off here, a little base that attaches the tongue there. I'll cut that off and chop it up for the dog. You can eat it. Some people do. It's going to be very, very strong flavor. Some people don't like it, that part of it, but to each their own. Alright, let's see if we can get this off the bottom. And I love it because also, you know, this is one of those foods that you absolutely know what you're getting. There's no doubt about it that that is a tongue. Even without the skin on it, there is no doubting what this is. It's all good, man. Waste not. Come on now. Now you can do a multitude of things with the tongue as well, okay? You can let it go longer, shred it down. You can cook it to the point that it is now where it's still pretty, come on, get off of there. Pretty, holds up pretty well. Then you can cut that and sear little pieces of it off. It really holds up nicely. You can grill it. I mean, you can do, like I said, a lot. It's a good solid muscle, man. You know what I mean? So put it to some varietal cooking styles and see what you like best. Alright. Get all my skin off. Sorry it's taking me so long. This is really hot even for my weathered hands. This is hot. Alright, we're going to cut this part off. Whoa. Big chunk there. I'm going to show you. It looks like brisket roast in there. The way that the meat, can you get that? A lot of fat in there as well. That's why it's okay. You can go a little longer with it. You can slow cook that bad boy until it falls apart. Some people will tell you that's overcooking it. But again, it's your tongue. Do as you please. Alright, I'm going to get this bad boy cut up for my tacos. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it and then I'm going to chop it, you know, or slice it down a little thinner. I don't want to like completely mince it. So I want you to have that texture, you know, a little bite in it. So let me get that knocked out. Okay, so I've got the tongue cut up at this point. I sliced it and then, I was going to love that. And then I went ahead and cut it into some thin strips. Okay, you can see my cast iron is good and hot. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of olive oil there. Yeah. Alright. Alright, then we're going to go in with a good handful of our meat. It's alright to get a little char on it. I mean, it's cooked at this point, right? We can eat it at this point. We're just going to bang it up a little more. And if you were wondering, this was a 3-pound beef tongue that we went in with, 3 pounds. And once it's all said and done and cut up, I mean, it makes quite a bit. We're just doing the small 3-inch tacos with little street tacos. There'll be plenty of meat. It will go a long way, I promise you. Alright. That's what we're looking for right there. If you can see that. Probably not from that distance. Just trying to get a little color on it. A little caramelization. A little crispiness. That extra flavor. Give it a little crunch. So what we're going to do now is go in behind that with some of the broth that it cooked in, as well as a little slurry. So the flavor is coating that beef. Oh, it smells so good. Don't know what it is about that brown that smells so good, but it does. All right. Let's go on with a little bit of the broth while I spill it all over the stove. First guest should be arriving here any minute, so we are just right on time today. Can I get an amen? You guys know I struggle sometimes. Alright. Broth's in there. Give it a second, let it do its thing. Got my slurry sitting here. Clean up some of this mess that's bothering me. Alright. Now after this, I've got to heat up some tortillas, which I will also do in another cast iron. I have a slight addiction to cast iron right now. Rice should be done here in a moment. Beans are good to go on the stove. 'Cause you know they don't burn on the grill. Oh man, there we go. Look how quickly that tightened up for us. Tongue gravy, that's what that is. Tongue gravy. Boom, easy peasy, right? Shut that heat off. We will get this delicious meat out of here and onto the table. Alright, so that was it right there, right? Super duper easy. A lot of components mixed in there, but overall that should be a very easy dish. My guest has arrived. The meat is done. The rice is going to go off here in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and get jumping on these tortillas, but I will definitely get a picture posted for you guys of the whole shebang-a-bang. So let me know how it tastes, because it's going to taste you back. All right, beef tongue tacos. Thanks for joining us.